Rockstar. Hey,
Hey, Rockstar.
hey, Rockstar. Hey, Rockstar. Hey, Rockstar. Hey, Rockstar. 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 Rockstar.
Hey, Rockstar! Welcome! This is a storytelling platform designed to empower you to build yourself up physically, spiritually, mentally, socially, and financially. Why stories? Because stories live on. They are eternal. They are a powerful reminder of what one can accomplish when opportunity presents itself. So listen carefully, learn the lessons, apply them to the Big Five, and become the rock star of your industry.
Rockstar. Hey, how you doing today? How's it going? Welcome to your favorite show, the place where you rock stars come in every week to hear me speak. This is a place where we give you powerful stories to inspire you to grow physically, spiritually, mentally, socially, and financially. So then you can go and become the rock star of your industry. Guys, it's a great day. It's a great week. I mean, we're already halfway done with the first month. How do you like them apples, eh? What have you done this month? Are you already getting into your groove with your resolutions, your goals, your affirmations? Or maybe, just maybe, you took my advice and you're doing your disciplines every day, little by little. Either way, Rockstar, just the fact that you came back, I am proud of you for being here today. This is episode 15. How to fast 21 days and not die. Dun dun dun. Before we go on, shout out to Low Budget Productions, the umbrella for which we are underneath. It's a place of great podcasts. If you do happen to be listening to us on or watching us on Facebook, go check them out right now. Low Budget Productions. Like them, follow them, so that you can have access to the other podcasts under that umbrella. And also now you can find us on Instagram. How you like them apples, guys? All right, so last story took a little longer than I wanted to, but it was just so good. I had to give you just how I came to develop the Big Five. Today we want to go with we just want to all right. Let's rewind it. We'll edit that for the podcast later. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the podcast. My church started a 14 day fast entering the month. And I believe we got 3 more days left. Or is it 4 more days? Let's see. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Okay, well, after this day, 3 more days till they complete their 14 days. And a lot of people are doing different types of fasts. Some are doing, well, typically what is promoted, what is done is something called the Daniel fast, or as we like to call it, the Daniel diet, because it's not really so much a fast. It's more like a Whole30 kind of situation where you eliminate certain things and you just kind of eat the vegetables, amongst other things. Sorry for all my vegan-free friends out there. But I am on the board of it's good to do a pure fast, which is just basically don't eat for the certain amount of days. Before we go to the story, I just kind of want to share my adventure or just how I've gone. Oh, yeah. I do have notes, because if I don't do notes, I will be all over the board and we'll be here longer than anticipated. I am going to start with a disclaimer. I am not a medical expert. I'm not a doctor. I can't prescribe you anything. So what you are about to hear is simply my life experience, my anecdotal evidence, if you would, for lack of a better word. Because there's some people out there who are trying it, and maybe you're looking for more advice. Matter of fact, when I started fasting longer terms, I was checking YouTube videos and finding more information, learning more about that, and we'll get into that. So this is just me adding to the story on how I did how I came up to doing a 21-day fast. Now, okay, growing up, fasting for us was more of a spiritual thing. My church would talk about it, would preach about it. They really didn't practice it as much when I was in it. Like, they didn't do like a church-wide fast, except maybe once a year. But I remember my father would share stories on how it seemed like at least once a month or at least twice a month, him and a friend would do, they call it a chiquita. Vamos a echarnos un chiquita. We're going to do a small fast, which was about 3 days, I believe. Maybe 5. But that was a small fast for my dad when he was off in the mission field and doing his thing. I remember the first time I kind of taught about it in my Sunday school class, and we were going to attempt I believe it was a 3-day fast. And our Sunday school teacher was saying, "All right, guys, now what do you feel comfortable doing?" And we went around sharing. You know, everyone's like, "Okay, well, I think I will be able to fast at least food for the most part, or maybe I can skip a meal here and there, whatever." And me, being a little zealous little church boy, I said, "Well, I'm going to do 3-day fast with no water also." I know I was getting myself into, but I was trying to appear holy. And I remember our teacher was like, wait. You guys need to take this seriously. You got to understand that this, although it's a spiritual thing, it also can affect you physically. So just be careful. And so I think I wound up doing maybe a juice fast. I would go and then whenever I get a headache or just felt weak, I'd drink orange juice or apple juice or something like that. So that, get my glucose just to get it down. But anyway, that was kind of my experience growing up as a kid. And I think the longest fast I ever did from at least till present was about maybe a 3-day, maybe even a 5-day fast was the longest I did it in my youth growing up. College, forget it, because of sports, athletics. I really couldn't do fasting because you need to consume carbs. However, fast forward, as you guys know, as I shared my weight loss journey, a lot of things that when I first moved here and weighed heavier than what I do today, and I applied a lot of different methods to lose weight. When I finally was able to successfully lose a lot, the goal was to keep it off, because I've lost it before and I've gained it back, and this time I'm like, I want to keep it off. And in watching videos, I found something interesting called intermittent fasting. And I investigated about that. Like, I want to know more about this intermittent fasting. And it was a new crave at the time where there's different types. There is, I believe it's the 16-8, which is the more well known, where you have a window, a period in which you eat. Within that 8-hour windows, you consume your macros, your nutrients, and then the rest of the time after that window closes, the 16 hours, which also includes 8 hours of sleep, or 6 and 7 hours for me, that was when your body was resting. And as I was learning more about this, I was geeking out on what happens to my body. Why does my body need to rest? And I don't know. Well, anyway, let me explain the different windows. You have the 16-8, and then you also have, I believe, they have something called the warrior diet, which is like a 4-hour window, and then you have 20 hours in which you are in the fasted state. But then they had one that made more sense, and it was called the 5-2 window, which basically 5 days you eat normal, and on 2 days out of the week and they didn't have to be back to back. You could do like let's say Monday and a Wednesday, or Monday and a Thursday, or maybe you want to do weekends. But you 5 days you eat normally, and the other 2 days, it's either a 24-hour fast with nothing or no more than 500 calories, which it was doable for those who are not used to not eating. But one thing that I learned, or one thing that started happening when I practiced intermittent, and I did do like maybe a 24-hour day fast, and then I entered into intermittent when I was doing the 8-16, the 8-hour window 16. And to me, it became simpler way. I actually felt like I saved money. And once my body adapted and learned, you know what, we don't have to eat the very first thing we do when we wake up. Once it got used to that groove, it adapted. And it was funny because in one of the videos, I remember someone saying, sometimes you got to know, your body just needs to experience hunger. You need to know what that is like. And so that was a different discipline, a mindset, if you will. And that's kind of also when I took interest in mental strength, learning more about how to toughen up the mind, to press on when you just don't feel it, when the emotions are high and all this stuff. And things started happening. I actually started learning how to exercise while I was in the fasted state. And matter of fact, I felt like I was more productive. My performance was better when I exercised fasted. And then shortly afterwards, when my window opened up, I would eat. My heart pressure normalized. I would go get checked up, and they say, you know what, you have a great heart pressure. So I was healthy. It was, even though I was still big, I was still a bigger guy. I was just, the fact that my body was allowed to rest. And there's a lot of things that I've learned about this, and you know what, I'm going to get to what I learned, what happens to the body during the fasted state. But let's just fast forward to how I did a 21-day fast, because I never thought I'd do it. So I was in that habit of practicing intermittent fasting, and it was normal for me. It was a normal life cycle for me. I remember traveling, going out of town to, I don't remember what particular or what I did that weekend, but upon coming back from my trip, I went to church that Sunday, and at that moment, our pastor announced, oh, by the way, the church is about to do a 21-day fast. And I'm like, I just kind of like, okay. Now, they had been preparing for this for some reason. Because it was guessing my vacation, and I just thought to myself, well, you know what? Let's just jump right in. No prep work. Because in my mind, I was like, I'm already disciplined with intermittent fasting. How hard could it be to jump into this fast? And they said, well, we're going to do the Daniel fast. And I just didn't want to do the Daniel diet. So instead, I decided, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do 10 days. I don't know. I just picked 10 days. I'm going to do 10 days, no food. And then after the 10th day, then I'll go into the Daniel fast. I'll do the vegetables and fruit and none of the good stuff. None of the protein and fats. However, and I will tell you this, even in my intermittent fasting, I still would drink coffee. Although I just wouldn't drink I wouldn't take sugar or cream with my coffee, and I would drink tea, but with no sugar. So to me, that was still, I'm not sure it was cheating, but that was just part of my normal routine is intermittent fasting. So I went in and decided I'll do that. And of course, I drank a lot of carbonated drinks, like LaCroix brand, kind of such. And that was nice for me because it's a little flavor something, you know. Well, I started my 10 days. And I will tell you this, it wasn't easy. Up to the third day, for sure. The third day is when you felt the weakest. It's when your body was just like, I need more sugar. And you know, like you guys know, bread is my love language. So to cut bread and sugar cold turkey like that, by the third day, your body is just it's detoxing from the lack of that glucose and transitioning into what I know now into using ketones, which is using your body fat for energy. However, that wasn't the worst part of it. I do remember. Actually, let me go by my notes. Fat third day. Yeah. Oh, here's the reason why, and I'm not gonna throw the guy under the bus, but my roommate at the time was practicing. He was prepping his meals ahead of time, and he had a special diet that he said he paid for, and he wanted to stick to this diet plan. And a lot of this also included a bacon day. And I remember on the third day, I was just sitting out there in the living room or in the kitchen, just watching him cook, and that was cool. I could watch him cook and not really feel the hunger. But then that third day, he cooked bacon, and that bacon smell engulfed the whole house and got to me and gave me the biggest headache I have ever had in my life. I mean, the kind of that I'm literally wanted to throw up. I had to go to my room and I couldn't come out the rest of the night. Until the next morning, I went to work and I was feeling weak, nauseous still, because you know how the bacon smell lingers in the house. And I'm like, but finally, after maybe the fourth, fifth day, that cleared up. Now, interesting enough, what happened to me during these 21 days, I want to say it started like around the fourth day, fifth day. I started getting something that I called food ghost. And that's whenever I would just get a craving, like just a weird craving. Let's just say a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, which is nothing big, but when you haven't eaten in 5 days, you're like, oh, peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And I would like call it out. I would literally just say peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And once I called it out, it was like it went out and vanished and the craving was gone. Yeah, it was something weird like that. Like, ooh, a Dr. Pepper. And it was gone. Oh, I want hot rolls from Wingstop. Or heck, I want wings from Wingstop. And it would go. You know, it's just carrot cake or spice cake, because spice cake's my favorite kind. It'd go and just disappear. And it was funny because it was happening less regular, but that was what was happening to me. But I overcame it eventually. Here's the one interesting thing. I said on the 10th day, I was gonna stop and jump into the Daniel fast that everyone was doing. But interesting enough, when I hit my 10th day, my body said, no, we're good. Keep going. And I'm like, all right. And then I was about to grab my coffee, and then all of a sudden, just like, you know what? I don't want coffee anymore. I don't want tea anymore. It was as though my body alertness had become alive. Like my mental clarity was just on a whole different level. And I was sleeping better. I was sleeping deeper. But also the interesting thing is I was sleeping less. Like I'd go to bed at and maybe after 5 hours, sometimes even 4 hours, I'd get up and I'm like, wait, it's too early, and I try to go back to sleep, but my body's like, no, we're good. Let's keep going. How about you keep going, and if you feel tired, take a nap. And I didn't need any nap. It was just an interesting, my body had switched over to just, we're good. We're good on what we have, and let's keep going. You have reserves. Keep going. And so that's the way I kept going. Now, I did have to use certain things, certain tricks that I learned to help me during this fast. And just to get my mind into it, is I would watch a lot of YouTube videos of people sharing their fasting story, their testimonials. I even heard a story about a guy named Angus Barbieri. This guy holds the Guinness World Book of Records for going the most amount of days without eating. Now, historically, this guy went 382 days without eating. Of course, to be fair, he had reserves. He was a big boy. I want to say he was like maybe I don't remember how much he weighed, but he weighed more than what I did at the time. And so that kind of gave me hope that, like, dude, if this guy can go 382 days, and I think in the end he wound up losing about like 275 pounds, something like that. At the end of that, I thought to myself, surely I can keep going. And of course, I was watching other books, and then I started taking interest in the art of fasting and learning more. And I remember finding a video by a Dr. Fung, who wrote the Obesity Code. And I read into that, and I learned more about what happens to your body when you are in the fasted state. How your body begins to break down. I think the term is autophagy. That's a term that's been tossed out, and that is the recycling of dead or weakened cells, breaking them down and reusing them and creating brand new ones. And I started hearing stories about like yogi people or people from other countries, the east, on the east, who would fast and still at 105 be able to get up and run and work out because they had a practice of fasting in their lives and letting their body rest and recycle. Whenever my body is, and the cool thing about Fung is I learned about insulin sensitivity. I learned that basically your body's is either in the feasted state or the fasted state. And insulin is important. I know people say it's a bad thing, or if you have, especially if you're diabetic, it tends to, it's because your insulin has been shocked so much that it's just broken, and now you either can't make it or you make too much of it, kind of situation, depending on what you get. But anything you eat, basically the whole first half of his book was anything and everything you eat will cause insulin spike. And when your insulin spikes, your body goes into fat storage mode. So you eat something, your insulin spikes, and it begins to break it down and put into fat storage. You drink something sugary, especially, spikes higher, convert into fat. Bread converts to fat. Sugar converts to fat. Pizza converts to fat. It does all that, and then it stays up. And then after a while, when you've stopped eating, once you've gone into a fasted state, then the insulin goes down. And once insulin goes down, then your body says, cool, now I can use the stored energy. And that's what begins to work out. Now, the problem with our culture, especially snack culture, is we have food accessible 24 hours a day. You have dry food places where you can go and order anything you want at any time of day, because I know I live in this country too. And here's the one thing that I get, because people don't really understand the catch-22 that very obese people go through. You see, their insulin's already up and it's already too sensitive, and they eat something and it just spikes it up, and their insulin level is more sensitive, that, or not less sensitive, that it stays up longer. And so the entire time that their insulin level is up, their body begins to store the food, and stores it away as fat. And they don't even get to use any of the nutrients. They don't even get to use any of, so of course they're feeling hungry again. And so they eat again and spike it more. So it's that catch-22. The only time that they actually lose weight is when they finally fall asleep and aren't stuffing their food they're faced with sorry, don't want to be rude about it, but that's how I was. And if they would just kind of stop and say, you know what, let my body rest. And that's what Mr. Angus had to do. He had to wait and wait and wait until finally his insulin level was low enough that his body could start using his stored energy. That's just fascinating things on what I've learned from just reading different things and learning all such. So anyway, all this data, all this information was what kept me, just kept me intrigued, kept my mind focused so that I could keep doing my fasting, and kept going. And then finally, on the 21st day, the very last day, my stomach started to growl. It's funny. I didn't have any hunger pangs until the last day. It's like my body was telling me, get ready, it's time to eat. Like you made us suffer no, Josafat. Funny enough, though, and here's another thing, do not take my advice on this aspect because I'm not a professional, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not. But reading other books and other practices, and people say, okay, well, to come back into eating food, you need to reintroduce small things. You need to introduce juices. You need a juice and go through it, nutrients and such. And I'm like, I want to, but I just don't want juice right now. I don't want fruit right now. I want something. And a friend of mine who works with animals, a vet tech of all, mentioned, why don't you eat chicken? It's some of the softest things out there. I'm like, we'll try a little piece and see what happens. This is probably where I'm gonna get in trouble, where people are like, no, you didn't. Now, don't get me wrong. I didn't go to like Hattie B's and get like hot chicken. That would have killed me. At least it would have tore up my stomach. But I did. We went out to eat, and I remember ordering a chicken soup. And I ate as much as the broth I could, and ate some pieces of the chicken until I was satisfied and just felt it. And then I took the rest to go. And it was good. And then later on that day, I ate some more. And then I want to say it was maybe by the third day, I was already eating bread and solid foods again. Maybe even the second day. Yeah, because I think we had a pizza night or something. I think by the third day, I was eating pizza. Guys, I know you're not supposed to do that, according to the experts, to what they say. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not that expert. Don't take my advice on that. Just letting you know that's what happened. That's how I ended my 21-day fast. But here's a funny thing. My palate had changed. If I would to eat anything processed, it didn't taste the same. As a matter of fact, I could taste the chemical. I remember I tried to drink a Dr. Pepper. Oh, no, it was a Coca-Cola. I don't know. Well, it was a soft drink. I tried to drink one, and first of all, it's too sweet, and I could taste chemicals in it. It was weird. I mean, I remember even drinking like the LaCroix or the carbonated drink that's naturally flavored, and I was tasting it, and I was like, this should be able to drink this. And I was drinking it like I couldn't, because I could even taste the chemical in that. Whatever the natural flavor was, I could taste that chemical. It was weird. It was like I had super tongue. But I remember like every bite of like food, little piece of cracker or bread was just so good, so great. It was amazing. But anyway, after that, I continued practicing intermittent fasting. I still do to this day practice intermittent fasting because it's better for me. I like my schedule. I can work around it. And to this day, I believe that at least intermittent fasting didn't help me lose weight, but it helped me keep the weight off that I had lost already. Now, the weight that I lost during that fast, I've gained it back. Not that much, but some, because I like sugar things. I like bread things. There's days where I don't discipline myself. And intermittent fasting is a way to me just reset and get my body back in order. But there's other types of fast out there that you guys can try. I mean, if you want to. Of course, the first type of fast is intermittent fasting, where you do either the 8-16 window, if you want to do the warrior diet, which is a 420 window, or if you want to do the 5-2, like you eat 5 days regular, and on 2 days you eat for 24 hours, you eat up to 500 calories or less that you can on those days. And it's a good way just to get your body to rest, restart. Again, if you're not comfortable, seek. Well, I'll give you some tips here in a bit. The other kind of fast, and here's one that I did try. Okay, first of all, it's to me, a fast is a no food fast. So there's intermittent fasting where you just eat in a small window. Then there's the no food fast where it's kind of what I prefer whenever I do a three-day fast. It's just no food. I usually normally and you know what? I found out, to me it's easier not to like wake up in the morning and say, okay, I'm gonna start fasting first thing in the morning. I'd rather start my fast, like, let's say I have lunch at 2, and then after that, let's say at 3 o'clock, I say I don't need anything else. At 3 o'clock, like, all right, I'm gonna fast, and my fast for 24 hours continues on until 3 o'clock the next day. Then I break my fast. That's to me, that's an easier way to do a 24-hour fast. But hey, it's up to you. Now there is a water fast. Oh, and that one's a little tougher. That one I wouldn't recommend you do it unless you had, first of all, like some help or some expertise, or if you're very fit and trim and don't have any excess body fat, I don't recommend you do a water fast. Now, basically what that means is it's nothing. You don't eat food, you don't drink water, you just let your body rest. Now, there's 2 types. There is something called a hard water fast and a soft water fast. A soft water fast is basically, a hard water fast is basically nothing. No water, you don't consume it, you don't bathe that day, you don't brush your teeth that day, you don't even think water that day. You just stay away from any kind of water and food. So it's food and nothing else. You do what those weird people, they're not weird, Lord, I apologize. You go out there and you just you are nurtured by the sun. I have attempted a water fast, but I did a soft water fast, which means I bathed that day and I brushed my teeth that day, but I didn't drink any water. I didn't drink any tea. I didn't drink anything on that day. I did it 3 days, and I will tell you this. My mental clarity went to another level on the 3rd day. Not only that, but if we were to turn this and use it for spiritual reasons, I remember having just some vivid dreams. Like my dreams, I felt like they all had messages. I would wake up and I'd write a lot of things down. Just so many great ideas that happened during that 3-day rest where the body just has no food, nothing to drink. But here's why I said that it's okay to do it if you have excess body fat, because your body needs water. It needs water. It just needs water. So the cool thing is fat cells contain water. Now, when you are in a fasted state where you are fasting, the body begins to break down that fat and extract the water, and it becomes a pure water. And your liver, I believe, or pancreas, whichever one of those two, maybe both, actually get a chance to rest and to clean up, because your body's now, because that was the interesting to me on those 3 days that I did a water fast, is I wasn't drinking anything yet. I was still urinating. I was still going to the bathroom, and like, where is it coming from? It's because my body was making its own water from the fat reserves, and then the rest of it was used as energy, and the carbon dioxide was released out. But anyway, just advice: if you do decide to do a fast, please do research. Please read upon this. Please study up on this. Please don't go in blind, like, well, I'm just gonna do it because Josafat told me to do it, and if he could do it, I can do it. No. Or just because some guru or someone's telling you need to fast. No. Seek. Be careful. Be wise, but also listen to your body. I know how to listen to my body. I know how to listen, and I've learned. It's come with practice. It's come with a lot of practice to know when I've done too much and I'm like, you know what, I need to rest from this. I need to eat something or drink something, or listen to those food cravings, I guess, Although nowadays, I really don't have food cravings anymore. That's a trip. But anyway, but yes, do research. Find a community. Find a community of people who have gone through it or doing it, and whenever you're going through this moment of fast, because they will encourage you to keep going. They will encourage you on your journey. They will be there. There's some great Facebook groups that you can jump in, and they will help you. Now, just type in fasting community, and you'll find some great people. You're not alone. Or just do what I do. Go to YouTube and find videos on people who have done this journey, who are doing fasts and such. What else? If you're not doing a water fast, if you're going to do just normal fast, here's something that I do recommend. Drink water. Yes. But I forgot the name of this guy's videos. But the first time I heard of the snake diet, or you probably already like, oh yeah, I've heard of him. Be warned, he's very crass on his videos, so he might offend you. But he mentioned something called snake water. And I didn't even think about this. It wasn't until, I remember, was it last year, 2 years ago? My roommate at the time, we attempted to do, again, our church did the fast again, and he attempted to do no food, and he kept getting headaches. He kept feeling weak, and he didn't know what was going on. And finally, I'm not sure if I recommended it to someone, like, hey, why don't you do a pinch of salt and eat that and drink it? And he goes, I'm supposed to be fasted. Like, yeah, but you need it. And so he did that, and his headache went away. He felt better. And so there is a recipe showing for how much you put, but the practice is you can use, there's actually now like sodium drops. There's other drops that you can use. Old school, I use pink Himalayan salt. First of all, because it gives me the electrolytes I need. It also has the minerals and the sodium that I need. And even I'll sometimes even put some no salt, and that gives me the potassium that I need. So there's a certain measurement by how much you put towards a liter of water. And I just sip on that all day as I need it when I'm fasting. And that helps. It definitely helps not get headaches because you're not losing the minerals. And it got to the point now, my recipe now, I tell everyone, it has the consistency of like Gatorade. You know how Gatorade has like kind of like that thick, salty feel to it, but yet it also has the added sugar. It's like Gatorade, but without the sugar for me. And so I'm used to it. I just like it. So whenever I do fast, I put that salt in my water. So that's some advice that I would give to you. Also before you enter into a long fast, if you're gonna do more than 24 hours, I would recommend this. Stop the habit of snacking, and also decrease your sugar intake as much as you can. As you're getting ready, it's getting closer to the day that you want to do your fast. Stop snacking and stop consuming sugars and breads as much as you can. That way, because honestly, that's what kills most people, is that bread and sugar detox on the third day. If you just jump in like I did, it will hurt. But if you slowly start taking that out before you jump into your diet, then you'll have a better way of going into your fast and being able to mentally endure through it. What other advice do I have, you guys? Try intermittent fasting first. If you want to start somewhere, start with intermittent fasting. Start with the 8-16 window. Watch videos and learn about it. And then when you feel good, go and try the warrior diet, which is 4-hour eating window, and then 20 hours. And then there's another thing called OMAD, 1 meal a day. Try that after that level. And then jump into I'm going to do 24 hours. Then go on from that way. Just to start practicing, because that actually letting your body rest will help you, your body kind of start regulating and start getting back to normal levels. Of course, if you have any kind of conditions, be sure you talk to your medical expert. I am not a medical expert. I'm just a boy who's healthy and tried it out. Well, overweight, but still tried it out. My last advice I had for you guys is, please be smart. Unless you just have a lot of excess body fat, start small. Don't overexert yourself. Some of the best advice that my mentor once gave me when we were in the mission field, he goes, here's the best advice I can give you on fasting. Because he would poke fun of people who would say such like, well, I'm fasting media today. I'm going to fast Cokes. Or whatever. Like, they would still eat what normal, but they just would fast social media, or they fast movies, or they'll fast non-Christian music, or whatever, and I get it. There's a time when you just need to let your mind rest from that influence, at least for your mental strength. But a fast is basically no food. So the best advice he told me goes, when you're ready to fast, here's what you do. You get a journal and you write down what you plan to do. And then you do it. That is the best way to do the fast, because you've written it down, you set your agenda, you've made your goal. Now stick to it. 24 hours, 48 hours, 3 days, whatever. Dry fast, water fast. I tried doing a water fast, or maybe it's called a dry fast. Maybe it's called a dry fast. I tried to do a dry fast. After that, those 3 days, and I haven't been able to successfully make another 24 hours. It's just, maybe I have done 24 hours. I just couldn't I couldn't do it 3 days again. I don't know. I just wasn't in the mental strength, or just honestly, I really didn't need to try it again. However, that is how you can fast 21 days and not die. I know the title's a bit out there to catch your attention, but I'm glad you guys are here. I want to say shout out to everyone who's listening right now. Wow, we got a lot of chatty people here on the Facebook. Judith Espinosa from Educated Zombies says, woohoo. Of course, we got the one and only, my partner in crime from Low Belgium Productions, Jose Sanchez, with what's up, Judith? What's up, Joe? The track for a run. Oh, this man right here. This man's a legend. Have I got stories to share about this man? He's an artist. And we've been talking. And yes, we want to bring him on Hey Rockstar. What's up, Avi Avalos? Avalos Avi. Just holding it down in San Antonio. Yes, so if you're still listening to us up in San Antonio, salutes. Guys, this has been another great show. I got a surprise for y'all for next week. I'll give you more information as we get closer to that. I'm sure my producer's not going to ask me, what are you talking about? But other than that, drink your water with salt. Try out intermittent fasting. Try it out. And maybe that could be a discipline you add once a month to let your body rest. Let that insulin level go down. Use up that excess energy that you have restored. Anyway. I feel like I should add something else to the story, but honestly, I don't need to add any more. That's all the advice I have for you guys. So, thank you for tuning in. Miguel, myself. No, there is something that I need to announce. I should have written down my notes to announce things. Anyway, guys, what's your story? I want to know. If you guys try it out, comment. Let me know. Or if you have fasted, try it out. Or let us know how your experience went. Let us know in the comments what happened. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you. If you're rewatching this later, again, I appreciate it. The love. Subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. And share with your friends. So, all the way from Nashville to your homes, to your cars, from this rock star's heart to your rock star heart. Here's wishing much love and many blessings.